From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Hello. A very good Friday to you. This is Dwarjagero and Omondio Chuka Power Morning Drive at Power Radio. I hope you guys are doing very, very well this Friday morning. I hope that your week has been great. Ochuka, how was your week? Was it good? Was it beautiful?
My week was very good. It was very smooth. No major thing to report.
Major thing to report.
Yeah. Says he complain. So I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
I hope that all our listeners are tuning in from home. If you're driving to work, if you're already at your workstation, welcome. This is Power Morning Drive, and the hashtag is Power Morning Drive.
Yeah. Do we have the power handles on social media?
Yes, on X.
Bernard, do we have them? Power Radio. No. The power morning. The power. But we will tell you later on. We're just waking up ourselves.
Yeah.
You want to play some 2 songs, and then we will come back, and we have a lot of things lined up for you. And today's topic of discussion is going to be about the issue of doctors. I have been talking with Omondi Chuka, the man with the experience and with the knowledge, and the teacher at the university. I've been asking, and is writing a thesis on healthcare.
Right.
I was asking him about this issue of doctors, and there are interesting things that is discussed with me. One is that the issue of interns was supposed to be paid 207,000 Kenya shillings per month, but now they're paid between 40 and 70,000 shillings. The other question is that why are we having shortage of teachers? We have a lot to talk about when we come back, and that is the biggest topic of our conversation, and basically health. And that I also want Chuka to touch a little bit of insurance when we talk about the issue of doctors.
Right.
So what is coming after these 3 tracks? We are going to be talking about the local news. Then we'll be later on we'll be talking about the dailies, what is on the dailies, and then we will go to the meat of our discussion today, which is the question of doctors and the issue of health and insurance. So keep it locked. This is Udwar Jagero, Power Morning Drive, Power Radio, and with my friend and co-host, Omondi Ochuka.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Politicians wanabonga mob, that's why kwa parliament kuna speaker ndio jue vitu ziko wrong. Pedestrians wanapisha gari kupita kwa zebra crossing. Kama unachuki nami heri ni poison na rat kuliko ninunulie Passat. Funds za elimu free nalipia mtoto wa minister private school fee. Kukuwa mtu mzubi ni hatia, ni walinishuku nikiofa mrembo lift kwa njia. Tafadhali samahani, shukran. Ni tamu zimepotea kata tu kwa skin ya Msudan. Kisu ni cutlery, kwa mkono ya romba ni silaha na increase casualties. Ukipenda utamu ya sweetie, kuwa tayari kuvumilia cavity. Wakiwa na warembo, twaza na teremka down to earth. Wanapenda from the belt down, see from the belt up. Flower coffee movie, see free. Pakipani kikuhage manishi na kulove. After episodes are Tyra Banks, wanadhani urembo ni kuvaa tighter pants. Wanafunika less, so na address hizi issue. Mguu split kasa ya piece ka DVD. Ni maplayer wanahitaji CDs. Self wanaume ni river, upate bank lazima get wet. Hiyo ndio advice tunawape. Njaa hasla fala. Panadol kutibu H1N1, there is none but one, kwake uje, zingine zote nika watchman kulinda police station. High side walivaa high heels wakaribia heaven, nilibend knees nika touch heaven. Mtulivu husema sorry zitabaki 32, mjuaji usimpikie githeri itakuwa ngumu kuchiu. Mwili yake ilipata shimo ka flute, Yesu kupata haikuwa flukes. After ile kisa Eden, ngumu kupata visa heaven. Great mathematician alitoa one earth ndiye apate all together. Heaven, heaven.
Your kind of music, all day, all night, right here on your only station, Pawa Radio.
Mzee alisema hakuna cha bure, huo msemo tumeutafsiri kinyume. Hata shule kuingiza mtoto lazima utoe mchoto. Kupata simu ni bala, road license bei nafuu utanunua. Kupoteza ID ni mashaka, twarudisha jamhuri yetu nyuma. Nchi ya kitu kidogo ni nchi ya watu wadogo. Nyumbani ukipatwa na majambazi kupiga 99 masema sisi hatuna gari. Lete 5,000 ya petroli zaidi ya utumishi. Mahakamani hela ndiyo haki, kwa 1,000 mshtakiwa ndiwe mshtaki. Utajiri huwa ushahidi, twarudisha jamhuri yetu nyuma. Jamani, nchi ya kitu kidogo ni nchi ya watu wadogo. Ukitaka soda ewe inspector, burudika na Fanta. Nchi ya kitu kidogo ni nchi ya watu wadogo. Ukitaka chai ewe mama, nunua Ketepa. Huko Kenyatta madawa zimeisha, mashiti za uzwa marikiti 100 kwa 100. Wafanyikazi waenda miezi bila pesa, ni bahati ukitibiwa. Mzigo wetu unazidi kuwa mzito, watoto wane na mshahara wa 2,500 ya vitabu na viatu na vyakula. Nauliza na mbotela, je, huu ni ubwana? Nchi ya kitu kidogo, ni nchi ya watu wadogo. Ukitaka chai ewe ndugu, nenda Limuru. Nchi ya kitu kidogo, ni nchi ya watu wadogo. Ukitaka chai ewe mama, nunua Ketepa.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
A very, very good morning to you. It is a Friday morning. By the way, Yomondio Choka,
Yes.
do you know about Friday? I have been reading about Friday from, last time we were talking about Google, talking about AI.
Yes.
Yeah, I've just Googled on Gemini Advanced 1.0 Ultra and asked, tell me something about Friday hidden to most people.
Yeah.
And you know what it's told me? Historical and cultural meanings. Freya's Day. Friday is named after the Norse goddess of Freya,
Freya, yes.
or Frigga, associated with love, beauty, and fertility. This
No wonder
connect-
people always feel so agile on Friday. Friday feeling, yeah. Yes.
And then it's also connected to Venus Day. In Romance languages, Spanish, French, and Italian, Friday is linked to Venus, the Roman goddess of love and beauty. You know, e.g. Vienna's in Spanish and Velvedi in French. And then the Islamic significance. In Islam, Friday is the day of congregational prayer.
Yeah.
Jumuiya.
Jumuiya.
Sindio? Holding significance as part of a special day of worship. And then we have superstition. Some cultures consider Friday the 13th extremely unlucky day. Interestingly, there is even a term for the fear of this date, and I can't pronounce it. Para Shrivde. It's too long.
It's too long.
And then, of course, after the 20th century, we have casual Fridays.
Yeah.
Many workplaces have embraced casual Friday, encouraging a more relaxed dress code as a
right.
transition into the marvelous weekend.
Yeah.
And then we have Rebecca's Black Friday. This viral song became a symbol of both loved and hated aspects of pop culture. By the way, are we able to play international songs like in the US now?
It's going to be copyrighted.
Okay. And then we have got Black Friday. Of course, everybody knows about Black Friday. That is when everything goes down in price. The Kenyans have been cheating us. Jumia has been
It's
very
not Black Friday at
sneaky
all.
about it. But anyway, it's a good time to go to news and look at what is going on. Johnson Sakaja, the Nairobi governor, says to doctors, you have 12 hours to resume work or get fired. But as we would see later in the program, that's an empty threat.
Threats never work.
It's an empty threat because where is he going to get doctors to work for him?
Yeah.
They're not doctors.
Threats never work. You know, it's not like sweepers where you can actually hire other people. You know, and I think this is also the thing with leadership. There's supposed to be a dialogue, conversational tone when a leader is actually addressing the nation or addressing a particular issue instead of ruling by fiat. I think this is something that I don't like particularly.
Ruling by what?
By fiat. It's something that I don't like. I detest it within the presidency. He has this authoritative, he has this disregard, he has this look down upon the citizen or look down upon anybody below the presidency. And so there's no dialogue between him and people.
It's not a good thing at all.
It's not a good thing at all. Yeah, go on.
It's not a good thing. Yeah. There is something that is very interesting. Video of Nairobi passenger frustrated, tout over bus fare angers Kenyans. Very sad. Now, I don't know why Kenyans are saying that this is angering them, but let me.
It happens every day.
I saw that video online and have got so much to talk about it, Mr. Ichuka.
Yes.
So let's get the facts of the story. Touts on Kenyan roads have been accused over the years of being rude and at times arrogant when dealing with passengers. This reputation has been most of them be on the wrong side of Kenyans whenever something is reported in a public vehicle. However, a video making round on social media has shed light on some of the struggles touts endure in their day-to-day work. In the viral video shared by so-and-so, the tout is seen talking to a passenger about seeing his confirmation message upon paying the fare using M-Pesa.
We talked
the young
about this,
man
right?
with a coastal Swahili accent refused to show the tout his message as he begged him to do so. I have so much to say about this, Ochuka, because
let's crunch it up a bit here.
My biggest problem is the invasion of privacy.
Right.
Look, this is what I think. You are a conductor, or a tout for that matter, and you know that people are going to pay via M-Pesa. Where is your phone? You know? Why should I be showing you that I have Lizard? You know?
It's also
Why
private.
am I showing you my balance of 330,000?
Or you and Tubob.
Why am I showing you a balance of 00? If you are a tout, why don't you have your phone?
Have a system of pay. And I think this is something
So that if Anne is saying that I have paid, you can check, and you'll ask what's your name, and then you'll see the message and you'll say that
then you
Anne
cross
Wanyoike
over.
has paid.
Right.
But why must you have a look at my phone?
It's very rude of them, and I think mostly I see it when they refuse to that passengers cannot actually refuse to show them the message.
So Kenyans are saying that this guy should have showed his phone to the conductor, but why?
No,
Why should I?
No, they shouldn't have. They shouldn't have. This is the thing. Most touts usually use their personal numbers to collect a fare.
Yeah.
I think they should have a separate business line.
But that is, for me, I think that's not even a problem. Even if you have your personal number, where is it? Why must you see my phone? And yet you have that phone number, that phone of yours.
Let's even take it back a little bit, because sometimes you get into a mat3 and then there is no way. They just tell you verbally, the number is also, I think they should just have a special tag. This is the name, this is the account you'll get, this is the number.
Yes.
Please.
They can just paste it because they paste so much junk on the walls.
On the walls, you know. That's very simple. And then so just let me know your name when I come to your desk or to your seat.
Yes.
Simple as that. That's sanity. And then also I think sometimes also being too rude and too demanding and entitled.
No,
it's also not very good.
And it is just our refusal to embrace technology. It is a very, very, very simple thing.
Do you think as Kenyans we sanitize dysfunction? Because there's a lot of dysfunction in the roads.
That's what people are actually embracing.
And then we act surprised when such things happen.
Yeah, because this gentleman is telling you that I have paid via M-Pesa. I have. Why should you look at my phone? Anyway, let's go on.
Okay.
Nairobi, Narok, and Kiambu top in generating own source of revenue as county. That's a good thing.
That's a good thing, yeah.
Something very interesting that I find NIS. What is NIS? NIS in full is what?
National Intelligence Service or what?
Is it?
Yeah. Yes.
Is it?
Yes. What has it done?
You know, there is something that is really happening in this country that is very, very, very interesting.
Yes.
Now,
are we allowed to curse on radio because you sounded like you cursed? What is happening there?
this is really sad.
Okay.
Kindiki is claiming that the procurement of passport booklets will now be done by NIS.
That's I oppose.
Claiming that there are vendor wars. What vendor wars?
No, this is I just cast silently, you know. The thing is, procurement of passports. Let's really talk about it when we're making the headlines. So procurement of passports is a government service.
Yes.
NIS is intelligence service. You understand?
Yes.
That means that there are actually information about a citizen that are so classified, they're not supposed to overlap. You understand? They're supposed to be kept where they are. I don't see why NIS, for example, like saying CIA is not going to print passports in the US. It doesn't make sense. And this is actually us admitting that the people, the crooks at Nyayo are not doing their job.
The crooks
We are in the 21st century and you're telling us there's a backlog of passport printing.
Anyway, before
before
you start throwing punches in the studio, let's go to the other one.
All right, let's go.
Government unveils plans to introduce financial education in primary and secondary schools.
Yeah, that's I agree very much. So yes. See?
What do I joy?
I only throw punches where it's deserved.
Yeah, people don't know how to use money. Hata mimi bado sijui pana.
Financial literacy.
Financial literacy is becoming difficult.
Ukipata pesa unaponda mali.
Not so much, but
unapigia mwili pole.
What can I say about the millions that I've earned over the years? Where have they gone to?
All right, go on.
Okay. Matatu owners reject return to NTSA officers on the road. Correct.
I also did.
Correct. Let's see what they are saying, yeah? The National Intelligence Service has taken the lead role in procuring passport booklets. No, that's not the news. That's different. I can't find it. It's on the Standard anyway. Standard is behind a paywall. Bena needs to be Bena, you need to give us subscription to this, guys. We can't read the Nation online, by the way. And we can't read the Standard. It has to be paid for. So we are always against behind the paywall. We will take it up with our producer later on after this
throw
show.
punches a little bit.
Yeah.
Diplomatically, of course.
Government reject plan to increase salaries for private security guards. Why?
They're supposed to cap it at 30K, I think so.
Why?
Details.
Why?
I think first of all they're poorly paid, and then I think they want to streamline that association. And then also just generally framework of training.
Yeah.
It's likely also some might be able to carry firearms. I don't know whether they'll accept that proposal.
Murkomen push for higher fuel price.
I thought they dropped it by 7 bob last week.
And then they're saying that they're going to be arresting help loan guarantors.
How does it work?
If you
comrades,
if you are guarantor, we are going to arrest you. Get that boy who took our money, paid up. I'm very lucky that I never got a loan from the government. I used to be very bitter about it. But now that people are
struggling to pay it.
Yeah.
Student loan is one of big menace, especially in capitalistic countries.
How much do you have? How much do the government to say? Be truthful.
I have 180,000 owed.
That you owe the government?
Yes.
Not so much.
Not so much. Because
I've been paying that in one soup.
Yeah, I'm paying it pole pole.
Pole pole?
Yes.
Okay. Can we look at some international news and then we can go back to a little bit of music, and then when we come back, we're going to look at the dailies.
All right.
Carnage on the streets of Haitian capital as world stalls on a promised intervention for Haiti. Killings everywhere, man.
This is also something
post-apocalyptic scenes in Haiti's capital, a social fabric phrase.
What a description.
Wow.
Post-apocalyptic.
Apocalyptic. What is going on there?
It's crazy. I see. I don't know. That's what I wanted to say. When there is war in Israel, they are very prompt. The international community is very prompt, especially G8. It's very prompt to respond, to give opinions and all that. But Haiti, being a black country, very little to no disregard, regard to them. I think it's very sad. But Haiti has been plagued by gang violence, political instability, and of course, added to the economic hardships that many countries are facing now. It's just too bad.
Yeah. This is serious. Look at these gangs, man. They're just marauding the streets. Wow, look at that, Ochoka.
It's crazy.
This. Okay.
And there are also tough wars. Like ukikuja milimani huwezi kuja hiyo tough. Kenda Ngong Road hiyo ni tough ya wenyewe.
It's a beautiful country.
It's a beautiful country, by the way.
It's really, really beautiful. But anyway, that's what is going on in Haiti, man. It's very, very, very sad. Famine looms in Sudan as civil war survivors tell of killing and rapes. Sudan is also another problem that is going on.
I saw that they closed schools because of the heat.
Sudan, one of the worst humanitarian disasters in recent history. You know, it's very, very bad.
And they're also approaching polls. It's gonna be
Over
messy.
70 Somali legislatures unite against president's unilateral constitutional plans. You know, Somali constitution review generates heated debate among leaders. But anyway, that is that for the news. We want to, I don't know whether this guy, our producer, can play us some beautiful song. Uliza kiatu. Bana, changamsha sisi bana. You have the song?
Let's reminisce.
Yeah, Uliza Kiatu. Uliza Kiatu is... while Ben is looking for it, yes, you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, it kind of reminds you of street poetry, and I don't know whether you can bring it back.
Street poetry. But Pawa was the one that was supposed to be heading to be at the center of arts in Nairobi, but I don't know what's going on at Pawa. We need to ask them.
I hope there is a proposal to do those. Has got to be easy because there's a lot of heat here.
Yeah. I mean, we are calling them out on their own radio.
Yeah.
We need to do... Are we ready?
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night, right here on your only station, Power Radio.
Love makes you do crazy things. Ask my shoes, uliza kiatu, and what I went through to buy you those rings. Ask my shoes, uliza kiatu, masaibu ninayoyapitia kukupeleka dina. Uliza kiatu na kaderi ninavyokatafuna, eti ndo ukule baka pizza. Uliza kiatu. Ask my shoes, ask my shoes. Uliza kiatu, uliza kiatu. Nimekopa nikupe, kumbe wewe ndo kupe. Nang'ang'ana ndo tule, juhudi zangu bure. I heard that love should always make us strong, but how I feel, I think that they were wrong. Ask me why. Nasema taxi nilipe, rent mi nikupe, nywele zisongwe Mombasa, sitwene mapenzi nikupe, mpaka we ulitike. Nasema taxi nilipe, rent mi nikupe, nywele zisongwe Mombasa, sitwene mapenzi nikupe, mpaka we ulitike. Ask my shoes, ask my shoes. Uliza kiatu, uliza kiatu. Ask my shoes, ask my shoes. Uliza kiatu,
Kitendawili,
uliza kiatu.
kitendawili. Tega. Nilimwonyesha mapenzi akanionyesha mfuko. Alisema do ya salon ni thao tu, na kwa mfuko nilikuwa na mbao juu. Alisema naenda PE. Akirudi nilimpata akimeza P2. Alikutega. So niko stuck katikati kama stick ya mshikaki, na mpenda huyu mshikaji but kiatu tu ndo najua story. Yani vile mi mchocha nimemflash bahati mbaya juu niko na deni ya boba Kolimo. Yani vile mi ukanyaga matope kabla nifike kwa lami, na ile stress mi upitia kabla nimbongeshe kilami. Yani vile mi mpandisha taxi then naenda kudandia gari ya moshi. Yani vile mi umhasilia dikiatu yangu naanza kutoa moshi. Yani vile mi muita baby tunajua nikimuita Njeri naanza geuka L, na hiyo mome zako nimespoil. Yani vile nimetama kadi timba yangu naanza geuka sanda. Yani vile yani kani kukopa nimekopa, yani kani kokoka nimekoka, yani kani 9 nimepigana tu nilivishio yake namba 8, na hata usiku nipate menchora 8 toa 1 7. Vile nimesaga mpaka toja, nikamdanganya mimi naishigi umoja, nikamwesha mpaka mimi si mwana vioja, eti na mahakamani kusolve vitimbi za dunia bila shaka mashtaka. Yani vile tele dunia kasimama tasimama pamoja. Yani vile kama penzi ni nywele basi nimemsetia nati. Yani vile kama penzi ni kikozi basi bila shaka niko na TB. niko na fever juu ananiumiza yani vile kama penzi ni mistari basi nimemwandikia sentensi matenzi mpenzi na kuenzi vishenzi niko cheesy crazy mwizi au mapenzi funge I'm guilty yeah to testify
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio. Your kind of music, all day, all night. Right here on your only station, Power Radio.
Twatembea matopeni usiwasikize matapeli jiji kesho tuna gariji
Mina saka mali twende kwenu mashambani nikalipe mahari tuishi kwa amani nikikutazama moyo wayoyoma kipenzi cha goro
nikikutazama moyo wayoyoma kipenzi cha ngoro na kuyanza kweli toto si toto na roho la mtoto nipe kusuma switi nimekumisi twende tumone kasisi au disi kwa ofisi turingie mafisi na kuyanza
nikikutazama moyo wayoyoma kipenzi cha goro na kuyanza
nikikutazama moyo wayoyoma kipenzi cha ngoro na kuyanza penzi langu sinsia ndakuyanza hisani mos oh and baby you're so close let me wipe off your lip gloss ndakuyanza
nikikutazama
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
A very, very, very good morning to you. This is this Friday. The weekend is coming in a jiffy, and everybody is casual and feeling good about themselves. In the studio, this is Power Morning Drive, Power Radio, with your hosts, Omondi Ochuka and myself, Utur Jagero. Today in the dailies, what is going on, Ochuka?
On the dailies, we have top of the headlines. We have pain points for striking doctors as Ruto steps in. I think the president invited the doctors and KPMDU to the State House for a talk. And page 2 of the Daily Nation, we have inside State House meeting that helped doctors stalemate. I don't know whether it really helped. I don't know whether they resolved anything. They've not declared public the resolutions made in that meeting. In page 3, we have medical interns, young doctors who carry the weight of healthcare. We'll talk about that in our meat of discussion. And then page 4, we have PS sued for limiting TV adverts to KBC while trying to kill media. I think the government made a declaration that all their advertisements are supposed to be done in KBC and not anywhere else.
Yeah.
I think in terms of democratizing media institutions, they should have made it open for bidding or tendering. And then on page 6, we have fast-track release of revenue to counties, Raila tells Treasury. It seems Raila has been at the forefront of devolution, supporting devolution. I like that. Query over CBC classes for secondary school. Apparently, there's 1.7 billion for classroom construction that has been made. And then there's been issues in terms of how do they procure for contractors. And then Koome, the CJ, bows to oppose proposed merger of lands and labor courts. I think they should be separate.
Who wants to do that?
The government proposed it. I think they're trying to.
But the government is not. The government is another arm altogether.
Yes.
So how do they propose?
When people say the government, it usually mean in the layman's term, it's the executive.
But the executive and the judiciary are completely different arms of the government.
Yeah.
That's an overreach.
I think it's good with how they now are approaching the executive because it means they have a voice. And being the CJ, they know the kind of backlog they have. Land courts have issues that are dating as far as 2007. They have not been resolved to date. So I think if it were to be separate, it creates some speciality in it. And then it means that these particular cases that are specifically on land are supposed to be treated or judged in the land.
But why do you think they want them to be merged though?
I think to cut costs, the austerity measures, but that were proposed by IMF and all that. Yeah. That's
so another rearing of the head by external factors.
Right. And then also on the sports, we have WRC, the Safari Rally Foreign Legions jet in today. I think it's supposed to be over the weekend. I don't know. I'm not certain. And then on the Business Daily, I found this very interesting. On the front page of the Business Daily, we have end of 18% returns for investors as CBK rejects 37 billion bids on treasury bonds to bring interest. Do you know what a treasury bond is?
I don't know what a treasury bond is. What is it?
So, hazina ya
You
dhamana.
can ask Gemini, but you can explain to me.
Hazina ya dhamana. It's in simple term to all our listeners. It's kind of like when government, you borrow money to the government and then you get it at a certain amount of interest after some period of time. Usually there are T-bills, they're called T-bills, treasury bills, and then the bonds. So you can have a 5-year, then you can have a 10-year, you can have a 1 year. So you borrow government money, and then when you get it back, you get it with some amount of some interest on top of it. This is usually meant to stabilize the domestic economy or domestic cost of operations within the government. Yeah, so if you are interested, you can log into the CBK website, the central bank website, and see which bonds suit your needs. And then we have on page 4 of the Business Daily, Kenya needs 3 million passports quarterly on labor travels alone. We talked about that when we were talking.
What does that mean?
That every 4 months, approximately 3 million Kenyans apply for passports for purposes of traveling abroad to work.
To work?
Yeah. So we have not calculated how many are needed for just leisure or tourism. Yeah, so I think that needs us to really address the issue of passports. We can't be complaining about printers going down.
January 14th, I went to apply for my daughter's passport, and I haven't heard from these guys up to now. So I don't know. They said that it's supposed to come out after 3 weeks. Was it?
Yeah, they said the Professor Kindiki said it's supposed to be 3 weeks. But many people who applied for their passport have not received it months and months later on.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what could help, because I think, number one, I think we could probably move towards paperless passport. I see nowadays, you remember Kitambo, when you needed a visa card, you would wait for some month or so, then they will call you back, your visa card is ready. The bank will call you. But today you go there and instantly you have it. I think if we could move to like a paperless passport, it could really help in terms of, first of all, environmentally.
Do we have paperless passports around the world? Are they in use right now?
No, but I think it's something we could actually start considering.
But even the US and
they don't have
Europe,
they don't have it.
But even how would that work with the visa?
See, it's just having a chip. So like a SIM card. So if you travel, it creates a log for you. And then you simply swipe it and see. They'll see it on the screen.
Easy peasy.
Yeah. That's yeah. But then again, I think also we need to really address the issue of printers going down. I think it's an excuse, a big lame excuse. Because now the
kind of problems we have with the kind of problems we have with the Kenya government and across Africa are very difficult to speak about. You are at a loss of words every time you want to speak about these issues. Because government has things that just don't work. The limbs are not working.
Do you think it's deliberate? Because sometimes I think
I also know that there is a lot of corruption. And when things are not working well,
it's to the advantage of corrupt leaders, yes.
Corruption gets a breeding ground.
Right.
You know? So then you will be told that, kuna shida.
But I can sort you in 2 hours if you give me some.
Kuna shida, but I can sort you out. I can do this for you. I can do that for you. It's a problem. Even my sister, a lot of my family members have had to bribe people at the. Remember when I was getting my passport?
You're snitching on your kin.
Yeah, they're bribing. I mean, that's not them. I can't call them bribe enthusiasts.
Circumstantial.
The thing is that they are not like me. Like the last time I was renewing my passport, you remember I had a huge fight with the immigration station in Kisumu. And I took that fight even to the immigration here in Nairobi. And even though I applied for my passport to be renewed in Kisumu, finally I had to get it from Nairobi because there was so much. I couldn't agree with those people because they simply wanted a bribe from me. And I refused and said, I'm a Kenyan, I pay taxes.
I deserve to get this service.
I deserve to get this service for free. And you are there, paid by the government, paid by my taxes to give me this. And why would you not give it to me? So those are the things that are happening with the Kenya government. And I am just hoping that they would do better.
Yeah,
they would do better.
They can do better. They can do better because if Huduma, I think Huduma was a really good project, and it can do even better than it has already done.
Sometimes I feel also that Kenyans are also really letting down the government. The government is
by enabling.
Sometimes the government really wants this to be streamlined. Sometimes the government really wants this to work.
Yeah.
But the citizens are not doing their work. They are not doing their job.
How so?
You find civil servants leaving their workstations at 12 and showing up at 3:30. So sometimes we also blame the government for not doing their work, but also we have got a very, very bad
civil servant culture
from the civil servant. The people that are supposed to be working for Kenyans are very corrupt, do not understand why they are there. So it's sometimes we just can't be pointing fingers at the government all the time.
Yes.
Sometimes we must have those other 4 fingers pointing at us.
Because at the end of the day, these are people, these are fathers. They are people from our society and community.
Yeah.
They're not aliens.
They're not aliens.
No, not at all.
If they're the ones that are frustrating the government projects and the government, services. So it's very difficult sometimes. So that is that for the news. Let's get to some music. El Shaddai by Heart _ the band. It's a very beautiful music. I like Uliza Kiat. I like Heart the band. They are young men that came out maybe in 2016, 15.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
You know, those days that that Power was also just coming up. They are the children of Power. And this is Power Radio, and this is Power Morning Drive. And so we would like to hear from the
Our
Power
listeners.
community.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai. Uko na kile minadai, ulinipenda hata kama misifai. El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai.
He's an awesome God. Amenipa such an awesome song. And I'm never lonely. Amenipa such an awesome love. He is an awesome God, and I wanna tell it to the world. Ili wajue ni wewe, kama si wewe basi nani?
Nasikia landlord ako kwa njia anataka kodi, ni wewe uta provide. Na nina ngori moyoni zinanijaza wori, ila nitakuwa fine. El Shaddai, uko na kile minadai, ulinipenda hata kama misifai. El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai. Uko na kile minadai, ulinipenda hata kama misifai. El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai.
And every day is an awesome day. Na vile unanibariki hata mimi sielewi. And every day you come through in an awesome way. Kwenye dhiki nimepata rafiki wa kweli.
Na kuna kaloni mahali kananijaza wori, ni wewe uta provide. Nina mahari natamani kulipia mpenzi, sote tutakuwa fine. Na madaktari wanasema hali siyo hali, wewe unajua time. Na hisi nguvu zako kwangu, I will call you El Shaddai. El Shaddai, El Shaddai. Nadai, ulinipenda hata kama misifai.
Hata kama mimi sifai.
El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai. Kuna kile minadai, ulinipenda hata kama misifai. El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai. Kuna kile minadai, ulinipenda hata kama misifai. El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai. Uko na kile minadai, ulinipenda hata kama misifai. El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai.
Dear Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I know I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
El Shaddai, uko na kile minadai, ulinipenda hata kama misifai. El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai. Uko na kile minadai, ulinipenda hata kama misifai. El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai. Uko na kile minadai, ulinipenda hata kama misifai. El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai. Uko na kile minadai, ulinipenda hata kama misifai. El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Ukila mabide tufanye je, tuende aje, tuseme je. Kila mabide tuimbe tudensi aje kila mabide tufanye tuende aje tuseme kila mabide tuimbe tudensi aje kila mabide tufanye tuende aje tuseme kila mabide tuimbe tudensi aje kila mabide tufanye tuende aje tuseme kila mabide tuimbe tudensi aje Kila mabide tufanye tuende aje tuseme kila mabide tuimbe tudensi aje kila mabide tufanye tuende aje tuseme kila mabide tuimbe tudensi aje kila mabide tufanye tuende aje tuseme kila mabide tuimbe tudensi aje kila mabide tufanye tuende aje tuseme kila mabide tuimbe tudensi aje
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
But the music we making, it touch your soul. Take you to a place you never been before. Africa tunaikamia tu most bana. I'm Kenyan, so you know I'm a marathon runner. Unaishiaje basic nika kesho iko promise na kuna era sitesi napenda album ya Chronics nyuma yangu na jeshi naomba niende mbali wanakungojea udedi waende wagawe mali I'm currently not in a position to kill poverty sina kitu kwa mpesa usini hale please natafuta kitu in many different currencies blank check disease wife akidai shopping twende overseas mekam na gari kubwa let me show my kids naziaka juu ya meza uone emblem jadinya shiski ndio stima wacha kenje nani keep jogging keep jogging keep jogging keep jogging yeah keep jogging keep jogging keep jogging keep jogging yeah it's the way I live my life can't let nobody live my life for me can't let nobody run me can't let nobody run me unaotaje basic natasiwa unalipa kuna era sitesi napenda album ya Isa kama patuongee kwanza nani atatupe mkwanja tule hakuna kitu ya frijo ikatae kanya bure style imeenda shule tuko high kama shule najua hapo ulikosha hapa tu ni fry kabla ukule kila dogiko na siku yake napaka maisha tisa ni unfair
kila siku kiamka amka na asante. Furahia leo uko nayo, acha kujikompea. Ule na mingi ndo anaongezewa juu yake. Kwa mtu alisemanga eti mini don't care. Keep chugging, keep chugging. Yeah, keep chugging, keep chugging. Keep chugging, keep chugging. Yeah, keep chugging, keep chugging. It's the way I live my life. Can't let nobody live my life for me. Can't let nobody run me. Can't let nobody run me. Why you hating? In real life I'm much more calculating. You don't want another woman looking at me. You hate my addictions, you love my dread. The music we making, it touch your soul. Take you to a place you never been before. Africa tunaika mia tu most bana. I'm Kenyan, so you know I'm a marathon runner.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Hello, this is Power Morning Drive, and this is Odro Chagero and Omonde Chuka.
What have you been thinking, bro?
Caught me unawares, man.
I caught you unawares.
Yeah, caught you unawares.
Okay, let me say it to you then. This is Power Morning Drive at Power Radio. It's a good Friday, and we are going to be talking about the meat of our discussion today. And this is where I want Omonde Chuka to come in.
I don't know how many people are out there who are feeling unwell.
I guess a lot of people, starting with me.
I guess a lot of people. And they also say nowadays they have extended wellness to mean so many things, and I think that should be the case. But the idea that over the years we have been complaining about downtrodden healthcare system in our country over and over. And there have been so many agreements, so many collective bargaining agreements between KPMDU and the government, between Ministry of Health and the doctors, between Nurses Association and the government. There have been so many talks, so many talk shows. And I think last week we talked about how we have so many commissions of inquiry in our country, but very little implementation of recommendations that are gotten out of these commissions. And so today we are going to look in terms of what is the state of our healthcare, but specifically, we are now actually realizing that we are at the precipice of things. Vitu ni kubaya, kwa ground vitu ni kubaya, because our healthcare seems to be manned. That's such a very gender not neutral term, but the gears of our healthcare is run by medical interns. What do I mean by medical interns? If you go to the US or the UK, they call them medical residents. Yeah. If you are in your year 5, 6, or 7 in the med school, then you are a medical intern. So that means you are just almost qualifying to be a full certified doctor. And why is this so? We are looking back and realizing that there's been a drop of enrollment of medical courses, particularly doctors and nurses. Number 2, there's been a huge rise in cost of training doctors.
Yeah.
We look at that as we see most universities are now charging between 280,000 to 460,000 per semester.
Yeah.
And we are also learning.
Do you think that this is the reason why? Because
it's a factor.
The fact is that we are having a shortage of doctors.
Yes.
In the country, in Kenya. And I don't know whether people just don't like the idea of being doctors, or because the fees are high, or because there is just no sensitization around whether students can be able to join university and and become doctors. What is really going on? Is it the issue of school fees? Is it the issue of high? I mean, if you want to be a doctor, you have to have scored very highly in particular subjects or overally. So is it that the cutoff there is a high cutoff mark, or is it the school fees, or is it just that people are not interested in becoming doctors anymore?
I think that it is very multifaceted, because these factors all play together. Number 1, because there's a really high cutoff point, and maybe it's necessary.
Yeah.
because medical school is not a walk in the park. But this has really affected enrollment because now if the cutoff point is very high, you will only have a few people joining med school. Number two, we have the fees. For a long time, the government capitation was flat. That is, if you are qualified for direct entry into university, then the government would cap the loan it gives you and the subsidy it gives every student. So now that is no longer anymore. They have a new formula of funding. They call it a funding model for college students. And this has made the cost of training one medical student rise significantly. And it's almost unaffordable. I've seen a lot of people who qualified last year when they introduced the new funding model going for TVETs. They're going for other courses. Some of them have actually even chosen to do business. I know personally 2 people who qualified and got an A. They said, I'm going to learn stuff on YouTube. I'm going to learn stuff on Udemy. And I'm going to learn stuff on the internet. And this has actually created a shift because previously, when you knew that your son or your daughter is going to take medicine, you are almost guaranteed that after 5 years, there's going to be a positive change in your life, a positive change in the society because doctors are contributing to a very critical role in our community. Number one. But now you realize that many people are actually shunning it. They're no longer guaranteed that safety, that job security and safety, that when I enroll for this program, I'm going to be earning some good money. I'm going to be taking care of my loan, my student loan. I'm going to be taking care of my parents and my own self. So you find people are opting for other courses or they are opting for other things altogether like business or just doing their life instead of wasting almost close to 2.8 to 3.9 million. At the end of the course, you're still not guaranteed that you could pay. Yes,
you're stuck as an intern for years.
Yes, and then I also feel like there's been a big mismatch between how the government handles their transitioning from being a student to being an intern to being a certified doctor. I feel like there's a lot of authoritarianism between the government and the medical interns because now they're forcing them. They're saying, look, for you to be qualified, first of all, you have to intern in a public hospital. It's mandatory. I understand why. But if they can also
Why?
Why? I understand because, first of all, they are the number one sponsor for medical students it's the government. So it's probably, I think, part of giving back to the society. But I wonder why they can't do that for civil servants. That for you to get treatment, you have to go to Kenyatta, to public hospitals. So that at least we can get back that sanity that we need. Because I don't think that there should be any major difference between a private and a public hospital. If the systems are working and well-oiled and things are actually catered for, things should not be very different between public and private hospitals. So I think they are forcing them now that you have to intern in a public hospital. And also, I saw on the Daily Nation where a student from who was posted in Baringo, there's a portal now, kind of like where you log in and then you see where you have been posted. So she's complaining that she has been posted on the portal, but she has not received an official letter. And then she's also saying that I'm just starting out. I'm the first daughter in our family, and I have a lot of responsibilities. I stay in Butere. That is their home in Butere. So she's been posted to Baringo. And then comes the biggest issue is the proposed collective bargaining agreement of 2017 proposed that they're supposed to be paid 206,000. You understand?
Yeah.
But the Salary and Remuneration Commission, SRC, capped it between 47 and 70,000. That's very little for a doctor.
So when you say that it has been capped between 40 and 70, so what does that mean? Does it mean that the hospital can only pay between 40 and 70,000?
Yes.
And how does it hurt the government if the hospital decides to give you more than 70,000?
It's not the hospital paying you, it's the government paying you.
It's the government paying you.
Yes. So the reason why they've capped it up because, of course, they will come things like a hardship allowances or the area in which you are serving. So let's say you're posted in let's say Lamu. Maybe the cost of rent is very low, so you might get 50,000. But if you're posted in Nairobi, where other things, the costs are included, then you might get 60 or 70,000. But I think that's very little comparing the economic.
But so a doctor in Nairobi is being paid, let's say, for argument's sake, 60,000.
60,000. Yeah.
So the government, how much are we supposed to be paying for rent? According to the financial consultants, it's what percentage of your salary?
Many people tend to say not more than a third.
Not more than a
Not more than a third
of
for
the
you to
salary.
be on the safe
so what
side.
is what is a third of let's say 60,000? Yeah.
A third of 6,000.
A third of
That's
60,
20K.
Third of 60,000.
Yeah.
So that's 20K. So the highest amount, the highest rent that a doctor can, if you're working for the government, then you'll have to pay 20,000
Yes.
for fare for a house.
To a house.
And then if you have a family of let's say 3, that means
There's
that you
there's utility and service.
can only afford a 1-bedroom house,
Right.
And then other costs during the week. That's let's say transport is taking another 15,000 or 10,000. That is already bringing it to like 40,000.
And then you have deductions, and then you have student loan.
And then you have deductions, and then you have student loans. You have not bought food.
You've not bought food. You've not sent home some little money for mom or dad.
Black tax.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So basically, you are constantly worrying about money instead of treating people.
And I think this is what is called attitudinal changes towards employment. Remember, I told you at one point, medicine was very lucrative. It even had a certain prestige in it.
I think it still is
still
for some
is,
people.
yes.
For some people,
And even
like I know doctors that are charging 5,000, consultation fee, and seeing upwards of 30 people in a day. That is already 150,000 by just looking at people and asking questions. So it's lucrative for others.
It's still very lucrative still, yes. But I think what I meant to say, there's a shift between how people used to look at it previously and now. And then also now, I think also there's an argument coming in where people are telling doctors that they should be grateful because being a doctor is a calling. Yes, of course it's a calling, it's a passion.
Is it really a calling?
But it's still a job just like any other.
For
just like
many people, I don't think it's a calling.
For many people, it is not.
It's a job. It's
Yeah,
a career.
It's a job. It's a career. It's a professional path, Yeah. When you take it, just like a journalist.
Kama
just
uko na
like an-
utu hiyo ni yako, but
yeah, that's personal. But I think then again it goes back to what I understand the argument because there's something called a Hippocratic oath which doctors and many medical students take. It comes from a place of human and compassion.
Yeah.
Compassion is at the center of nursing and medicine, and the reason why that is important is because over the years we've seen the rise of quack doctors. Number one, doctors who are very negligent, and this can cost lives, and it can also cost millions of dollars in terms of lawsuits. And it can also tarnish the name of good doctors who are doing their job properly.
Yeah.
So while we might say that it is a job, it has, I would say there is a moral ground in it that needs you to actually put in place. That it's not just about you getting good grades. It's not just about you getting good earning out of it. It's about the care that you need to put into people. And you can't have that if you don't have humanity or if you don't have compassion. That, yes, this is a professional path for me, but I also need to take care of people. And this goes back again to how do you get paid for that? Because while, yes, tunaweza fanya kazi ya kanisa, but then again, I think you also need to be compensated for the work you put in and compensated handsomely and beautifully, I think. So while we say that doctors are supposed to be compassionate, we also need to really pay them well. We also need to capacity build for our hospitals and infrastructure.
Yeah.
And then also we also need to see the support staff around them, from the doctors to medical labs to even facilities, the physical facilities in these hospitals.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we're gonna take a break, and then when we come back, let's talk about what really the doctors now want from the government.
Right.
The exact thing that they want. I think we can talk about that in the last segment of this topic. Yeah. Good.
Yes.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Mapenzi ni bahari lisilo na mwisho. Mapenzi ni moto kwa roho na haichomi. Nimempenda msichana wa Kisonko, mi humona kwenye
kwenye ndoto usiku nikiwa ghetto. Uishi runda kwetu ni dandora, kuna rusho makombora na kumeja wakora.
Lakini je anakupenda, najua we unampenda, basi nenda pole pole, siku moja utampata.
Penzi wangu never leave me, penzi wangu ende pole pole.
Take it slow as you go step by step. Take it slow as you go step by step.
Anabonga tukilami, hapendi mama pima, hapendi za madondo, anataka tu mapiza. Anabonga tukilami, hapendi mama pima, hapendi za madondo, anataka tu mapiza.
Enda pole pole, bado unasaka, chochote unataka, with time utapata. Hakuna matata, hakuna matata. Enda pole pole, bado unasaka.
Penzi wangu never leave me, penzi wangu ende pole pole.
Take it slow as you go step by step. Take it slow as you go step by step.
Penzi wangu never leave me, penzi wangu ende pole pole.
Take it slow as you go step by step. Take it slow as you go step by step.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Wakati wako utafika, hatimaye.
Your kind of music, all day, all night, right here on your only station, Power Radio.
Jack on the jack. Ilibidi niokoke ndo niwashe jiko. Siko kwa kanality juu niko ridho. Ulimi bado ridhe, risasi zipo. Mistari bado kali na mizani zipo. Silabi simple kama A-E-I-O-U. Rudia mara twice A-E-I-O-U. Kati chingi za calling na cha impromptu. Subiri usichizi in. 2 fingers in the sky. Kunja ngumi to the side. Sio ngumu kudecide. Tusikwende tukislide. We can boogie through the night. Thank the Lord that I'm alive. 2 fingers in the sky. Kunja ngumi to the side. Sio ngumu kudecide. Tusikwende tukislide. We can boogie through the night. Thank the Lord that I'm alive.
Kabit kaki drop too. Check in if you come through. So follow if you want to. Nobody can stop you. Kabit kaki drop too. Check in if you come through. So follow if you want to. Nobody can stop you.
Wanauliza kolo kwani ulienda? Okay, wengi hawajui nilishabanduka. Kama shujaa si nilipata rufa. Jupazia za hekalu zilishararuka. Kumbe hapa siri ni kuchangamuka. Sasa anga zangu chonjo ninatambaruka. Mimi niko na Yesu nilijanjaruka. Kutoboa hii maisha ya mapanda shuka.
Kabit kaki drop too. Check in if you come through. So follow if you want to. Nobody can stop you. Kabit kaki drop too. Check in if you come through. So follow if you want to. Nobody can stop you. Let's move to the right. Move back to the left. Kila mtu wanafala. Usipodu uko solo. Let's move to the right. Move back to the left. Kila mtu wanafala. Usipodu uko solo.
2 fingers in the sky. Kunja ngumi to the side. Sio ngumu kudecide. Tusikwende tukislide. We can boogie through the night. Thank the Lord that I'm alive. 2 fingers in the sky. Kunja ngumi to the side. Sio ngumu kudecide. Tusikwende tukislide. We can boogie through the night. Thank the Lord that I'm alive.
Kabit kaki drop too. Check in if you come through. So follow if you want to. Nobody can stop you. Kabit kaki drop too. Check in if you come through. So follow if you want to. Nobody can stop you.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
A very, very, very good morning to you. This is Udwara Jagiro, and I am with Omondi Ochuka. This is Power Morning Drive and Power Radio. We have been talking about the issue of health, issue of doctors, and what is going on there. I think we needed a little bit of understanding of what is going. So, Ochuka, you were explaining what are the 4 things that the government, the doctors want from the government?
There are 4 key things that the government and the doctors have been in agreement with since 2017. First of all, we recognize that the healthcare is in crisis.
Yeah.
And when such a fundamental ministry or institution or government department is in crisis, then the whole country is in crisis. Yes. Because you realize that many people are now going to the hospital and they don't get the services that they need. Many people who are scheduled for surgery, but they have not gotten that. Many doctors have not been paid some money that the government owes them. So let's look at the 4 things. Number 1, we realize that because a major weight of healthcare is actually being pulled by medical interns. What do we mean by medical interns? Medical interns are year 5 and 6 students who are almost ready to qualify and be certified as full doctors.
Yeah.
So they carry the huge burden of healthcare in majorly public healthcare. So KPMDU, which fully means Kenya Medical Practitioners and Pharmacists and Dentists Union, wanted the government in 2017 to pay them at least 206,000.
Yeah.
That is what they agreed on in 2017. Up to date, that agreement...
That was the government of Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yes. Up to date, that agreement has not been honored, and it's very sad.
They agreed.
Yes,
and
they
the government
agreed.
said, fine, we are going to do it.
Yes, they agreed. And then now the government has reneged and said, through SRC, the commission that is actually tasked with reviewing salaries, that they're going to cap this to between 47,000 and 70,000. You see the drop?
Yeah, that is a huge drop.
It's a huge drop.
Because then the question that I'm having would be that why would the salary regulatory board or committee or body
SRC,
yes, get in between the agreement that because my assumption would be that, well, we are going to respect the agreement that you had in 2017 and we are going to abide by it.
Yes.
So why would they renege? Because what I'm feeling is like the government is saying, look, it's not us. It is these guys that are saying, well, we can't do it, and so we can't do it.
But SRC is a government agency. They can't do something without oversight from...
That's the thing. So I feel like the government is
being dishonest.
Is washing their hands off it and saying, well, we would have loved to abide by it, but because this other body is independent and is reviewing these things, let's see what they're saying, and then I go with it, which I think is not very honest. It's
very dishonest, because when it comes to salaries for MPs, it never has any issues. They pass it immediately and it goes forth, and by next day it is inactive, it is gazetted. But when it comes to doctors who are actually doing a huge and a very critical role in our country, then they start to renege on their promise.
Yeah.
This is wrong. And I think also because economic times have really changed. People need at least an upscale or something. Yes, let's say they might not be able to pay that 206,000. They would have called back KPMDU and said, yes, come on guys, we can't pay the 206, but we can afford 150.
We can afford 150.
Yes.
We can afford 100.
100, yes.
Makes sense.
What do you think about that? They said, it's too little, but let's talk. Let's talk. And then said, now we will upscale it as time goes.
And
you understand?
And that I think is what you were saying before.
Conversation,
you were talking about the attitude with which the government or some authorities are, looking down and talking down at the at professionals instead of inviting onto the table and saying, look, this is what is happening. I think that is what you remember Moi haggling with NAC.
Yes.
In 2003.
2003. Yes.
Moi finally decided that, look, these guys are not going anywhere. These guys are going to destroy education. Let me have a conversation with them. And there was a very fruitful conversation.
It was.
Yeah. So I think people like Sakaja should realize that, look, doctors are more important than governors.
They are. Because if you don't have a healthy population,
you don't have even somebody to vote for you.
Yeah, exactly. And then number two, that's one of the issues. Number two, they are looking in terms of medical interns again. We've realized that there is a drop in enrollment in terms of medical interns getting into medical service. And of course, I've mentioned earlier when we were introducing the topic that the cost of training a medical student has gone higher.
Yeah.
And then this has actually rippled into a drop in how many students are enrolling for medicine. And so you find that, yes, they still hold the huge burden of running public healthcare, but there's a drop. So that means already we have a crisis in terms of how many doctors are supposed to be manning the population of our country. Yeah. I think WHO says for every 1,000, there should be 10 doctors. And we have very little, almost around 3. That's very little.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the issues they're looking in terms. And then number 3, they're looking in terms of there is an insurance that the KPMDU proposed to the government. Because it's very sad when the doctor who is treating you is not able to have access or afford their own treatment whenever they are sick. Because doctors are human beings. They fall sick. So I think in terms of just giving them back, just saying thank you, like you're doing a great job. Let's have even a special, but they really don't need to have a special. If SHIF were to be implemented well, then doctors would have a good package, a good insurance package that would cater for their needs. You understand? But KPMG was very categorical in terms of which insurance they would need that would cater for their needs and their beneficiaries.
Something I don't understand about the insurance is that, for example, if I'm working at Kenyatta Hospital,
Yes.
the private wing, and I am sick, I can't be there. I can't be.
No, you can't. You'll come as a patient. There's no internal agreement between you and Kenyatta. You'll come as a patient.
Really?
Yes, and this is why we're also looking, if we compensate doctors well, and that goes to the third reason, if we compensate doctors well.
I work at the private hospital at Kenyatta, but I can't be admitted there if I can't afford it.
That is the case even for doctors working in private institutions, unless you're really, your experience is higher and you have some little money somewhere. But if you're like a starting out doctor, junior entry level, most of these doctors cannot afford services at the hospitals they're working in.
If you're a doctor at Nairobi Hospital, you cannot be treated at Nairobi Hospital.
I'm not saying you can't.
No. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like if you can't afford it, you can't be admitted there.
No.
Really?
No.
Really?
No. This is a business at the end of the day.
So if I am a doctor at Nairobi Hospital and I fall sick, go to Coptic where you can afford.
Yeah.
Go to Melchizedek
Yes.
where you can afford.
Yes.
Go to what is the Mama Lucy Hospital.
Mama Lucy or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you have an internal.
We'll come and visit you there.
Yes, unless you have an internal agreement with them. But usually, just use your salary or you just use the money that you've saved.
You can't afford. You can't use your salary to be there at the Nairobi.
That is the case with capitalistic.
Are you sure about that, Ochuka?
Yes. Yes. That is the case of capitalism. Many doctors cannot afford services under which they provide, under which the same hospitals they work in.
You know, that story reminds me of something. I went to see. Let me not name the name of the hotel, the restaurant on air. They might sue Pawa 25.
Defamation.
So it's a very good restaurant around Yaya. You know, very classic, very chic.
So why do I know this? Sitakuchoma picha bana, tuna studio.
You can use your head. Lakini jina zisemi.
I won't fool your legs.
So I go there and I go park downstairs. The parking is uko chini. Inaitwa aje? Downstairs. Anyway, B1, B2, uko chini. And I find this guy is eating ugali and skoma.
Yes.
Uko chini.
It's the same thing with restaurants.
And they have the clothes for the hospital for the restaurant where I'm going.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. And the food is not even well prepared. It's not on the menu.
It's not on the menu.
They usually contribute a side. I know my friends who work in restaurants, they work 12 hours or 12, 13, 15 hours. They have to contribute money elsewhere so that they can cook.
So I go up and I order something. And I asked this lady, because I just wanted to test her. And I asked her, have you ever sampled this food? And in that moment, she was so truthful. She said, no.
Yes.
I mean, you are working in a restaurant. You have never tasted that food.
And yet you recommend it to customers.
How is that possible?
Because they're usually given briefs. When they introduce a new menu on the list, they're told the chef, the chief chef, tells them this is the menu, we call it this way, these are the ingredients. When the customer tells you this, recommend this. But half the time, there's no testing for these hostess. They don't. And that is the case replicated even within schools. Have you ever seen teachers who teach in private schools, but they can't? Their own kids cannot go to that school?
Wow.
Capitalism. The height of it.
This is serious. You know, this is serious.
The height of it.
So you teach at a private school.
Yes.
Your kids can't go there.
Yes.
You are you work at a very prestigious hospital. When you are sick, uwezi lazwa hapo.
Unaweza lazwa, but then you'll have to pay.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that, I mean, when you're coming as a patient,
Yes.
we don't know you.
We don't know you. You're a patient.
We only know the medical insurance that you're holding or the cash that you're having in your bank.
If this were the case,
But
then,
let me ask you, Chuka,
yes.
something just interesting.
Okay.
You are at the Nairobi. Let's not call these guys by name. You are at this luxurious hospital.
Yes.
And you've uzira yuko. Wanakupeleka wapi?
It's because they have something called the first responders obligation. They'll admit you. And then, of course, being that you work there, there's obviously a certain familiarity. This is Dr. So-and-so. But because the first thing is because they have a first responders obligation. They were at the scene and you are very close to them, and then therefore they have to respond to you. I've seen a lot of doctors.
But after that, tough conversations will start.
Besha, where's the money? Where's the money?
But they know you can't afford it.
Well, that's now on you. And that's why doctors are needing.
Let's go on. Let's go on.
And then the third one, of course, is in terms of we know that hostels are not made of just bricks and mortar, as Professor Nyong'o once claimed when he was the minister for.
Why was he saying that?
Because we have, you see, one of the things that we see many private hostels are good because when you see it, it's beautiful, the aesthetics. And there was a time when there was a big outcry when we were looking, for example, at Homa Bay County hospitals. You look at it. And then I've seen recently, it's very funny. There's a very good conversation. We need to have it someday. You've seen an uptake of many people, morticians, mortuary science, people taking mortuary science.
Yeah.
So over the time, they've been sharing about their issue. I think they one came to DWJ. So we've seen situations of, have you ever been to, let's cut this story short. Have you ever been to City Mocha? No, I have been there. And it screams mortuary. If you know what I mean.
It screams mortuary.
Yeah, it's graphic.
Fluids?
Fluids.
Dripping.
The slab is dilapidated. And if you go to Kenyatta, I once wrote to Kenyatta personally. There was a time I was visiting somebody at the 9th floor. And then when I was coming, they have this aluminum foil. It's a dome-shaped, half dome-shaped trolley or a gunny, which they use to collect dead patients and take them to the mortuary. And because they use the same lift, and this gunny is very creaky and it's dirty. It's not dignifying at all. Because we know that even if somebody dies, they deserve dignity. And that's why we have coffins, that's why we have caskets, that's why we have a burial arrangement. I didn't find it really dignifying. And this is the same thing when you go back to her healthcare. It's not dignifying really. You walk into, have you ever heard people say that I was having malaria, then nikaenda OC. But when I entered there, nikapona. Nikajitoa, because what meets your eye is not dignifying at all.
There is a time I went to visit the wife of my cousin at Kenyatta Hospital. And I went there and I was shocked at the state of the bed sheet.
Yeah.
It was bloody. You see something that
stainy, yellowish.
Very stainy, yellowish. But that is not what captured my attention. What captured my attention was how tattered it was. And I looked at it with a lot of embarrassment for my country.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I asked the nurse, Kwani, how much is a sheet? How much is a bed sheet? Honestly. Because it's a bed sheet you cannot use anywhere. That bed sheet, you can't even use it for the way we get old stuff and use it as a
rag.
As a rag.
Yes.
You can't even use it as a rag.
And yet it is supposed to be covering a patient.
It was covering that lady. And it was just a terrible sight to see.
And there's usually there's a very traumatic scent in a hospital. If you've been to a hospital, you know that particular scent.
You know that scent.
You know it. It's nauseating. You just know that this is a hospital. And when you go to other hostels in other countries, I've been to other countries.
Oh, yeah.
And let's talk about the issue, because when I went to Apollo has a complex system where they recycle most of their stuff they have a laundry section, an industrial laundry section. That means their bed sheets are not tattered, they're clean, they smell nice. Understand?
Zikuna star soft.
Zikuna star soft. Mahali, zimerushwa mali. Yeah? And and this is what we need to do. If we are supposed to build a model hospital, it's supposed to be an ecosystem on its own.
Yeah.
You understand? It has a wing where it can host, because you don't need to be having a relative sleeping next to you, taking care of you. They can have a wing that can host them.
Yeah.
They can have a laundry section so that they don't have to pay another company to be washing their stuff.
Yeah.
The water that is, because the hostel uses a lot of water, and this water can be recycled. They can have a section for research and a partnership with universities and colleges. So we need to move towards, and this is what the doctors are saying. Yes, we are qualified, but if you are a doctor who is qualified and you work in a very dilapidated facility, it means that your service, the service that you offer, is not optimal.
It's not.
Yeah. So they're asking, please consider capacity building. And how do you do that? You just don't build hospitals. You look at how many hostels, how many doctors are working in this hospital, how many nurses, how many support staff.
You can also benchmark.
You can also benchmark
From other good hospitals like Apollo.
Yes.
Once I was admitted at AA hospital.
I once visited you there.
You visited me there.
Yes.
You saw it.
Yes.
It's a hospital that looks like a hospital.
Yes.
It smells nice.
Yes.
There is stuff soft on the bed sheets.
On the bed sheets.
You know?
Yeah.
And I really felt dignified. You know, when you're talking about indignity, I felt really dignified. You know?
And this is why I was telling when we were studying earlier. Health has moved from just being a doctor sits somewhere and asks you how you're doing. No, health has moved towards, because this is where private hostels are now creating executive wings. Do you know people when they feel tired, they go to an executive wing for 2-3 days, they get a massage, they got people to play nice music.
When I was scouting for insurance, for my wife got a new job.
Yes.
And they were getting an insurance for her. And the insurance broker or the insurance agent was very enthusiastic about explaining how much the amount is going to give us. And they were talking about a private wing, that's worth 25,000 per night. And, 25,000 per night, even a very for 25 is a good one.
It's a good one.
So we are not saying, for example, that every hospital must look like AR.
Yes.
But to a level, we should do a little bit more. We shouldn't be having bloody bed sheets. Bloody tattered bed sheets.
And you know what hurts me about all this?
It makes you sicker.
It makes you sick. Actually puts you at risk of infection, skin infection and all that. What hurts me about all this is when we look at the state of healthcare in Kenya, mostly we tend to blame the doctors.
Yeah.
A lot of us as citizens, we say, doctors are... It's true, yes, there's a portion of blame they need to take and responsibility they need to take. But if you work in such a situation, you are demotivated, to say the least, number one. Yeah, demoralized. And it's very sad because we only look at the end tail of it, but we don't look at what led to all that. And then the fourth thing I needed to add is, when you see a country in how it treats, there are 5 or so things that I feel are always important. Public transport. We've talked about the state of our roads before. The state of public healthcare. You understand? If you go to a hospital and you see how people are being treated, the long queues, somebody just hurting somewhere and nobody gives a hoot about it, it tells you how that government or the current regime is treating its citizen. It's responding to the needs of the citizens. And I think this is what we need to move further away from. We need to be more responsive. We need to be caring. It's not just about the doctors, because at the end of the day, when the doctors are well compensated, it reflects on the quality of our healthcare.
Yeah.
When we build our hospital to be dignified.
They value me. I gotta value this work that I'm doing.
And I have a problem with Kenya when we have value systems like, unity and peace. They are just value systems on paper, but we can't translate them in real life. When we sing about the national anthem, it makes me sad that we sing about something we do not put into practice. When we squander public monies through KEMSA and Ministry of Health and all these other critical ministries. And yet this money is supposed to go towards helping better our healthcare system. What are we saying? And yet we go back and still blame the government. So I think also in terms of our own personal initiatives as citizens, we need to really be proactive. You are somebody who is tasked by running KEMSA. KEMSA is a critical procurement agency in Ministry of Health. Don't squander that money. And they usually say sometimes there's a certain benevolence that when it comes to certain monies, you're not supposed to eat it. Money for funeral, money for unakulaje do ya mazishi. Do ya mgonjwa. It's like there's this thing that people say umekunywa uji ya mgonjwa. That's the highest immorality you can commit. You know. So there are certain things we know we're not supposed to be doing in a
the last one, reimbursement.
Reimbursement. So there is an agreement that was made in the CBA of 2017 where, for example, particularly maternity and Linda Mama service under NHIF, where the government, the healthcare providers were saying, there's a money when you go, for example, your wife is expectant and they go for delivery in a maternity ward. They capped it at between 6,000 and 10,000. And the healthcare providers were saying, obviously, in many cases, in many instances, this money is usually surpassed. So they was asking the government, could you at least move the ceiling up a bit so that you ease the burden on the citizen and also you ease the burden on the healthcare provider? Because let's say if I go and the bill comes to 15,000, I knew that only going to pay, the government is going to pay 10,000 and therefore I'm not going to pay anything. I, as a citizen, I was not prepared to pay that 15,000. So if the government could raise the ceiling a bit in terms of what money they reimburse to these healthcare facilities, it would ease the load on the healthcare provider, and it would also ease the healthcare load on the patient, who is the citizen. So I think in terms of reimbursement, I think maybe SHIF is aiming to sort that issue out, but it won't be. It will take some time before we know for certain, because SHIF is supposed to be evaluated around December this year. So we hope that it's going to sort that out. Yes, those are the issues that were raised in the collective bargaining agreement. We are not privy to the issues that were raised yesterday. They had a meeting at State House. They have not declared publicly what issues were raised and what agreement they reached with the KPMDU. We'll keep you updated on the issues, of course, as they come in.
Yeah, that is Power Morning Radio today. And one of the things that we are doing is trying to talk about Power Radio is a project of Power 254. Yeah?
Yes.
Do you know what Power 254 stands for?
Power is a Swahilized. Yeah? It's Swahilized, yeah?
Yeah.
Swahilized power. The power. POWER. Because as citizen, you have a power. Ukona power, you have a legitimate power. And so as Power 254, that's just an acronym of power. PAWA 254 is, of course, the area code of our country. And we are an organization that seeks to facilitate social justice conversations, to partner with our community in terms of creative spaces, to bring on board conversations that touch on governance and issues of social justice.
Yeah, exactly. The vision is active citizens driving change, and their values, they use bold, socially conscious art to drive citizens-led action and empower active citizens to drive change. The mission is to awaken consciousness and demand for positive change. Yeah?
Yes.
This has been Power Morning Drive with Otwori Chagero and Omondi Ochuka. The hashtag is #Power Morning Drive.
Please keep the conversation going. Leave a comment for us. Tell us what you would like to be featured more on the show.
Yeah.
And we will appreciate your feedback.
Until we want to wish you a great weekend.
Enjoy your weekend.
ahead.
Drink responsibly. Take care of yourself. Yes. Stay happy.
See you on Monday.
All right.
Your kind of music, all day, all night, right here on your only station, Power Radio.
Medical attention bila kitu ni bala. Afande sitoi yangu nina makosa sitakata. Dara sigawe mzigo upate Tanzania swara. Silali CGB corruption baby we ni bala.
It was a mistake wana uhuru majuto, badala ya maendeleo ikakuwa ni mshtuko. Sakata kibao do zote kwa mfuko, after miaka kai kabaki ni mshtuko. COVID-19 was an act kwa theater, na nipeleka fridge ni act bila sweater na ninoma. Mafans wezi teta tofauti ya mkoko kwa radio skater.
Zipika uwezi shout it ninja, tuko kwa project kuangamiza hizi jigas. Nini una hold usipull that trigger, tumalize hizi mende zishakuwa gold digger. Unajikinga ama una take dimension, siwezi toka hapa bila kuimention. Mwanasiasa utake that attention, baada ya mswada na jeke tuma pension.
Kupata form lazima kitu kidogo, kupata job lazima utoe hongo. Kazi ya mtaani umetuacha matani, shule za bure bila ganji. Mtoto wasomi, mtoto wasomi, mtoto wasomi, mtoto wasomi, asomi, asomi.
Asomi, shule asomi, watoto wasomi, kazi hakuna, hakuna, hakuna. Shule asomi, watoto wasomi, asomi, shule asomi, watoto wasomi, kazi hakuna, hakuna, hakuna. Shule asomi, watoto wasomi, medical attention bila kakitu ni bala. Afande sitoi yangu nina makosa sitakata. Dara sigawe mzigo upate data iswara. Silali CGB corruption baby we ni bala. Medical attention bila kakitu ni bala. Afande sitoi yangu nina makosa sitakata. Dara sigawe mzigo upate data iswara. Silali CGB corruption baby we ni bala.
Mitaani tumejaza streets bila lights, transformers zimebebwa na Kenya Power, and it's like don't deserve our rights. Like si wageto hatuna power, na bills of rights plus kutoa tax tuko ndani kama mwenye ako korokoroni. Ni kama kipao cha mbele ya wanaojiweza, sisi kategori tuko ni eti tumeekwa. Mama mboga hana la kusema kwa maana yeye ushinda kwa kibanda, na wenye sauti wako kwenye suti kuraukia ofisini na kusahau. Bila huyo mama mboga hapo kibandani usiku atalala njaa juu hamna kitu kwa sahani.
Sitobi hongo natumia bongo, kama nimekosa fata mkondo. Nivishe pingu chora obi, nibebe nipeleke kwa koti. Fungua mashtaka banyim, nataka kwa shortcut kupata rwabe ya hustler. Sitaamini hata iwe nini, mlimanga yule boy alikaza kachwani kwa blanda hi-fi.
Kitu ni bala. Afande sitoi yangu nina makosa sitakata. Dara sigawe mzigo upate data iswara. Silali CGB corruption.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.